Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Assault on Precinct 13, and this movie is directed by John Carpenter, and it came out in 1976. And I enjoyed this movie overall. I didn't think this movie was great. It was better than Dark Star, luckily. That's all I was really hoping for. A movie that was better than Dark Star, and I like the music in this movie like most John Carpenter movies. I think the music is a big standout, and it's memorable and catchy. The movie also looks nice. It's very well shot throughout, and there are scenes that I can remember how they were presented visually in terms of the cinematography. I also liked most of the characters in this movie. Not all of them are characters that I relate to or care about, but the main ones who you're stuck with the longest are the ones that I like the most. I think that's a good thing, is that the characters you're stuck with the longest are the most likable. And I also like the idea of not knowing anything really about Napoleon, our main character, and everything is just a secret with him. And he says, I'll tell you later, but later doesn't really come either because the movie just doesn't show it to you, or that character dies. And he's like, oh man, I was going to tell him a secret, and that never happened. And the action sequences in this movie were fun. Not some of the best action scenes I've seen in any movie, but I thought that they were well handled, especially for the budget and what they had to work with. And the majority of the acting was good. I wasn't a big fan of the child actor. I just thought that she was kind of bland, but the adult actors I liked. And this movie is nice and short. It's only an hour and a half, and I do think that's a positive for this movie, but unfortunately, with it being so short, there isn't really a whole lot of time to get really invested in anything, because there's a lot of characters in this movie, and I feel as though you could trim some of them out, and it's basically a whole group of characters, and they're just getting picked off one by one, almost like a horror movie, except it's an action movie, and the characters are also trapped in one location. And I like the minimalist approach to this film. I think that works to the film's benefit, is that it's not trying to be this grand film and trying to be too big for what it is. But at the same time, I didn't really care too much about the characters. Even though I liked them, I just kept thinking to myself, even though some of them are dying, I don't think that's a spoiler, that characters die in this movie. The ones that die, like, I don't really feel much impact other than, oh, that's a surprise that this character died. Like, beyond that, I didn't really feel much attachment to most of them. And there were also some sound design choices that I thought were a bit weird, like characters are pouring blood into like a bowl, and the dripping sound effects are like really loud. Like, you can be 40 feet away from the bowl and you could hear it nice and clearly. And that was a bit distracting. And there's a point in this movie where it's just nonstop action. And although I do like the action, at that point it did get a little repetitive for me, because nothing new was being progressed. And I was like, okay, we're just being shown the same thing over and over again. Despite the fact that I wasn't mad with how it was being presented, it's just, in this specific scenario, what was being shown wasn't all that impressive to me story-wise. And I'm big on presentation. I'm big on how things happen in a movie, not so much what. But I do feel as though this movie just needed something else to keep me chewing and interested throughout the entire thing. And also, when characters get shot in this movie, there's like a lack of pain for some reason. They just stand still, and then if they die, then they just collapse. Like, I didn't really get much of a sense of pain from any of the characters, and that was a bit odd. But going back to the repetitive nature of this movie, after that 20-minute action scene in the middle of the movie, I do think the movie does pick up and gets better and more interesting, because characters are trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. And that's where the movie picks up and becomes a good movie, in my opinion. And that's about all I have to say about Assault on Precinct 13. It was solid. I enjoyed it. It didn't leave me thinking. It didn't impress me. It was a nice, simple movie that worked. So check this movie out if you haven't already, and with all that being said, I'm going to give Assault on Precinct 13 a 6 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Assault on Precinct 13 and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for 2012. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.